Welcome to Quaver TV's Real Body Count, where we look at the death tolls of serial killers, mass murders, natural disasters, and world leaders. Today, we're delving into the tragic events of the Columbine Massacre and its haunting legacy of school shootings. On April 20, 1999, the quiet suburban community of Littleton, Colorado, was forever changed when two students, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, carried out a meticulously planned attack on Columbine High School. This event, which at the time was the deadliest school shooting in United States history, claimed the lives of 12 students and one teacher, injured 24 others, and left an indelible mark on American society. The massacre began at 11:29 am when Harris and Klebold, both seniors at Columbine, arrived at the school in separate cars. They were armed with an arsenal that included a 9mm carbine, a 9mm handgun, two 12-gauge shotguns, and numerous homemade explosives. Their initial plan was to detonate two large propane bombs in the school cafeteria, which they had planted earlier. When these failed to explode, they began their shooting spree. The first victims were Rachel Scott and Richard Castaldo, who were sitting on the grass outside the west entrance of the school. Scott was killed instantly, while Castaldo was critically wounded but survived. The shooters then moved inside the school, where they encountered Dave Sanders, a teacher and coach. Sanders was shot but managed to warn many students before succumbing to his injuries hours later. As Harris and Klebold moved through the school, they fired indiscriminately at students and staff. They entered the library, where some of the most horrific violence occurred. 10 students were killed in the library, and 12 others were wounded. Witnesses reported that the shooters taunted some of their victims before killing them. The rampage lasted approximately 49 minutes. At 12:08 p.m., Harris and Klebold turned their guns on themselves, bringing the final death toll to 15, including the perpetrators. The victims of the Columbine Massacre were Cassie Bernal, age 17, Stephen Curnow, age 14, Corey DePuter, age 17, Kelly Fleming, age 16, Matthew Ketchter, age 16, Daniel Mouser, age 15, Daniel Rohrbaugh, age 15, Rachel Scott, age 17, Isaiah Scholes, age 18, John Tomlin, age 16, Lauren Townsend, age 18, Kyle Velasquez, age 16, Dave Sanders, age 47. In the aftermath of the shooting, as the community and the nation grappled with shock and grief, questions arose about how such a tragedy could have occurred. Investigations revealed that Harris and Klebold had been planning the attack for over a year. They left behind journals and videos that provided disturbing insights into their mindset, showing a deep-seated anger towards their peers and society at large. The Columbine Massacre sparked intense debates on a range of issues, including gun control, school security, the influence of violent media on youth, and the treatment of mental health in America. It also led to significant changes in how law enforcement responds to active shooter situations. Prior to Columbine, the standard protocol was to secure the perimeter and wait for SWAT teams to arrive. After Columbine, many departments adopted a more aggressive approach, training officers to enter buildings immediately to confront active shooters. Perhaps the most tragic aspect of the Columbine Massacre is that it was not an isolated incident, but rather the beginning of a disturbing trend of school shootings in the United States. In the years following Columbine, numerous other school shootings have occurred, each one reopening the wounds left by Columbine and adding to the collective trauma of the nation. Some of the most notable school shootings since Columbine include the Virginia Tech shooting in 2007, where 32 people were killed. The Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in 2012, which claimed the lives of 20 children and 6 adults. The Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida, in 2018, where 17 people were killed. The Santa Fe High School shooting in Texas in 2018, which resulted in 10 deaths. The Oxford High School shooting in Michigan in 2021, where 4 students were killed. The Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas, in 2022, which claimed the lives of 19 children and 2 adults. Each of these tragedies has added to the grim tally of lives lost to school shootings, a number that now far exceeds the 15 deaths at Columbine. The total death toll from school shootings in the United States since Columbine is difficult to calculate precisely due to varying definitions of what constitutes a school shooting. However, by most estimates, it exceeds 300, with many more injured both physically and psychologically. The legacy of Columbine extends beyond the immediate tragedy and the subsequent shootings. It has fundamentally altered the American school experience. In the wake of Columbine and subsequent shootings, schools across the country have implemented a range of security measures. These include metal detectors, security cameras, locked doors, active shooter drills, and in some cases, armed security guards or teachers. While these measures aim to increase safety, they have also been criticized for creating a climate of fear and turning schools into fortresses. The psychological impact on students who grow up with the constant threat of school shootings is a growing concern among mental health professionals. The Columbine Massacre also had a profound impact on popular culture. It inspired numerous books, movies, and songs, some seeking to understand the tragedy, others exploiting it for shock value. The shooters themselves, tragically, became a kind of dark inspiration for other troubled individuals, leading to a phenomenon known as the Columbine effect. In the years since Columbine, survivors and families of victims have worked tirelessly to honor the memory of those lost and to prevent future tragedies. Organizations like the Columbine Memorial Foundation and Sandy Hook Promise have been at the forefront of efforts to promote school safety and support those affected by gun violence. Despite these efforts, the debate over how to prevent school shootings remains contentious. Proposals range from stricter gun control laws to improved mental health services, from increased school security to changes in media portrayals of violence. Yet consensus remains elusive, and school shootings continue to occur with alarming frequency. The Columbine Massacre and the school shootings that followed have also had a significant impact on gun politics in the United States. In the immediate aftermath of Columbine, there were calls for stricter gun control measures. The shooting occurred during the tenure of the federal assault weapons ban, which was in effect from 1994 to 2004. However, efforts to renew the ban or pass new gun control legislation in the wake of Columbine were largely unsuccessful. In the years since, the pattern of public outrage followed by legislative inaction has repeated itself after nearly every major school shooting. This has led to frustration among gun control advocates and a growing youth movement demanding action on gun violence. The impact of Columbine and subsequent school shootings extends beyond the United States. These tragedies have influenced school safety policies and gun control debates in countries around the world. Many nations have pointed to the U.S. experience as a cautionary tale in debates over gun laws and school security. As we reflect on the Columbine Massacre and its long, tragic legacy, we are confronted with difficult questions about our society. How do we balance the need for security with the desire to maintain schools as open, nurturing environments? How do we address the root causes that lead individuals to commit such horrific acts? And how do we honor the memory of those lost while working to prevent future tragedies? The Columbine High School massacre stands as a pivotal moment in American history, a tragedy that continues to shape our national conversation on issues ranging from gun control to mental health, from school security to the very nature of evil. Its impact is felt not just in policy debates and security measures, but in the lasting trauma inflicted on survivors, families, and communities. The 12 students and one teacher who lost their lives at Columbine were more than just victims of a senseless act of violence. They were individuals with hopes, dreams, and futures that were cut tragically short. In remembering them, and all those who have been lost to school shootings in the years since, we are reminded of the preciousness of life and the urgent need to find solutions to prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. As we grapple with the legacy of Columbine and the ongoing issue of school shootings, it's clear that there are no easy answers. The path forward will require difficult conversations, a willingness to challenge deeply held beliefs, and a commitment to prioritizing the safety and well-being of our children. The Columbine Massacre and the school shootings that followed have left an indelible mark on our national psyche. They have changed the way we think about school safety, altered the day-to-day experiences of students and teachers across the country, and sparked ongoing debates about some of the most contentious issues in American society. Yet amidst the tragedy and controversy, there are also stories of resilience, of communities coming together in the face of unimaginable loss, of survivors working to create positive change. These stories remind us that even in the darkest moments, there is hope for a better future. As we conclude this exploration of the Columbine Massacre and its lasting impact, we're left with a solemn reminder of the human cost of such tragedies. Each life lost is a universe of potential extinguished, a family forever altered, a community left to grapple with an unfillable void. The legacy of Columbine challenges us to do better, to work tirelessly to create a world where such tragedies are no longer possible. It's a daunting task, but one that we owe to the memory of those we've lost and to the generations yet to come. If you found this episode informative and thought-provoking, please consider subscribing to Quaver TV. Your support helps us continue to bring you these important stories and explore significant events in history. Until next time, this is Quaver TV's Real Body Count.